107 with 7:40 left in the game when Luka Doncic was whistled for a technical foul by referee JT Orr, his second of the game, causing him to be ejected. The Thunder finished the game on a 29-12 run to rout the Lakers. Luka says he was trash-talking with the courtside fan in the fourth quarter. The Lakers lost to OKC last night when an official thought Doncic's words were directed at him. Here's Luka postgame.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it that happened, but you know, I never got a fan ejected, never. But if he's gonna talk, I'm gonna talk back like always. So that had nothing to do with the ref. So I didn't really understand. I mean, it was tough. I mean, we were right there. I think we fought the whole game. You know, we were down 8 at halftime. We came back in the third quarter. We were fighting, man. So it was tough to see that with this kind of situation that happened. And you know, that's on me too. So I can't let my team down like that.
Wendy, did Luka deserve this ejection?
Okay, it's an interesting way you phrased that question. I don't think he deserved this technical foul. I should point out the referees gave a comment to a pool reporter last night. It was not JT Orr, the referee, that ejected him. It was the crew chief, Tony Brothers, one of the most experienced crew chiefs, and Tony Brothers made it clear that technical was for cursing at the official. They didn't regard Luka's defense as that he was cursing at a fan. I believe Luka that he was cursing at the fan because I don't think there was even a foul on this play. I don't think it was something he would complain about, and he's always cursing at fans. The reason Luka got ejected from the game wasn't the mistake from the ref there. It was because he already had a technical foul for cursing out the same ref. And the referee was very happy to make sure he knew, I'm throwing you out. He got in that situation for the accumulation of technicals in the game. And the reason that the officials are quick to call technicals is because he's always cursing them out. So, was it unfair that he got this technical and was ejected from this game? I say yes. However, does he have to deal with that and earn it because of his reputation and the way he behaves? Yes. And it is unfortunate for the Lakers, who are still very much playing for something that I think it cost them this game. This was a one-point game. They were ahead by a point on this basket. They crumbled after this. And Luka has a complaint, but he has blame as well.
Yeah, listen, you stole it right from me, Wendy. Number one, he had a technical earlier in the game. So I can't give you any benefit of that when you already had a technical. I know that Monica might say that too. Plus, I'm going to give you a big picture here. This is as a fan, he is impossible to root for. Oh. He constantly moans and groans at the end.
There's a whole city that would beg to differ.
You're saying
I understand, but I'm talking about the average fan who doesn't have any rooting interest. Oh, God, he's constantly moaning and groaning at the officials. Constantly carping at the officials. He's constantly looking for foul calls. What is he doing? He makes a big basket with 7 minutes to go, and he's yelling at whether it's JT or a fan. Go back and play defense. I mean, come on. I mean, on and on. It happens all the time with this guy. He's very hard to take. Yeah, you can't dispute that. You're telling me that he doesn't argue with the officials?
Monica, is there a little truth? Is there a little
come
truth?
on,
What he's saying compared to other players?
Molly, yes, but Mad Dog just put 500 on 5. Like, come on now. You act like this dude is at the end of the bench just yakking. You sound like the Mavericks organization when they made this trade, as if this dude has not had the caliber of athlete to be an MVP and take a team to the finals.
So in other words, then, because he's great, he's allowed to act like an idiot on the court?
I would love him to curb some of his enthusiasm in this regard. However, let's not play it like Luka not one of them ones in this league.
No, he's a great player. I love him. He's the third best player in the league. I'm not disputing that.
He's just impossible.
I said again, he's impossible. I didn't say he's not great.
I know.
He is very difficult to root for. Oh, he's constantly talking to the officials.
Wendy, have you heard this around the league at all? Any credence to this?
Well, again, I think it's word usage. I think at times he's hard to watch because he is constantly, always every play, and it can be a little bit dispiriting to watch. I think if he's on your team, you love him because and in a way, the way he embraces being the nemesis, the way he embraces being the enemy, he's sometimes risen to have his best moments when he's trying to settle a personal vendetta. That is enjoyable to watch. I'm not sure the word root is correct, but I agree. There are times when I watch him, when I see the complaining, I'm like, please, I can't take it. And so I understand what Mad Dog is saying. I think you can root for him if he's on your team.
He's halfway. So Monica and I are halfway on this.
You're so easily irked. It's absolutely.
Mad Dog's icks.
It's
now remember,
Larry Bird.
To be fair,
Larry Bird, Bob Cousy.
Bird was impossible
They would never do that.
Bird was impossible
I'm moving on. So quick word
Go ahead,
here.
you may continue.
All right, cool. More drama out of the NBA last night as the Timberwolves blew a 24-point lead by getting outscored 39-8 in the final 10 minutes of a stunning 110-103 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks that ended a 5-game winning streak. The T-Wolves, who started the game in a 4-way tie for 5th place in the West, are now alone in 8th. Wendy, was this blown lead something or nothing here?
Oh my God, is it something? So much happened in the NBA yesterday that this could fly off the radar, but this was so bad, guys. Like, okay, you know that the Western Conference is skin tight, and that all of these teams are like with a bad quarter away from like totally losing leverage. The Timberwolves were in a beautiful position. They had won 15 out of 17 games, and they actually had leverage on the tiebreaker. If all those teams had tied, the Timberwolves were going to be the big winner. They actually had the 4 seed at the tip of their fingertips. And they had the easiest schedule amongst all these other teams. They have far and away the easiest schedule. The toughest game, they had to go to Milwaukee and win this game without Dame Lillard, but this was the toughest game. And they're up by 20 in the fourth quarter, 24. They get outscored in the fourth quarter 40-13. 40-13. Oh my God. And you know what they did? They just played zone. It wasn't like Giannis hit 7 straight threes or that the Bucks like went, 22 of 25 shooting or something like that. They just played zone. And the Timberwolves looked at it and were like, I've never seen this before. What a devastating collapse. And not only that, the Bucks were on the verge of losing home court. Right now the Bucks and the Pacers, their nemesis, are fighting for home court in the first round of that potential series. The Bucks were on the verge of like losing it. The Pacers were about to clinch it, and the Bucks make like this roaring comeback. This is an extremely consequential game and a devastating loss. The Timberwolves now have to win out because now they're in 8th place. They were 12 minutes from cruising to holding 4th, and now they're in 8th. Welcome to the Western Conference right now.
I just want to say one thing really quick. Obviously, the Bucks missed Damian Lillard, but huge getting Bobby Portis back.
And he had a good game.
Yeah.
I was there a month ago, and Bobby Portis was still had the opportunity to work and train with the team, all that. They were looking forward to that. But this was also Giannis's 3rd consecutive triple-double. So Giannis has been on a little bit of a run here as well. A force, clearly, in that fourth quarter in particular. The Timberwolves, very disappointing, though. In terms of them winning out, they've got the Grizzlies, the Jazz, or the Grizzlies, the Nets, and the Jazz. So there is a real opportunity for them to win out. But to Wendy's point, and this is why even Luka returning to Dallas tonight is all the storylines around this stuff is fantastic. But the actual consequential wins and losses, they speak volumes over all of that stuff in my mind.
Yeah, this was a terrible loss, and I agree with you. I'm not worried about Milwaukee and Indiana. I don't think either of those teams care that much about getting the 5th or the 4th seed. Mm-hmm. They both can win on home court. Milwaukee had home court last year, and I know Giannis didn't play a lot, and they lost Indiana. So I don't think that's a big deal for the Bucks. I like the comeback.
Yeah.
That's a great comeback. But you guys are 1,000. Here's the Eastern standings right now. Pacers are 31. And so the Bucks are going to be the 5th seed. They're going to be ahead of Detroit. They won a season series. They're going to be the 5th seed. But this is, Wendy hit it, Monica, this is a brutal loss. Because now look what it does with Minnesota. You can throw the standings up there in Q if you want. This puts Minnesota in a situation where they're going to be playing in the play-in. Mm-hmm. And although they will probably end up in the 7th seed or something along those lines, so you have it right now. Yeah. I mean, right now they are currently the 8th seed, and they got 33 losses. I got to look. Wendy says tiebreaker. I got to take a peek at that. They do have 3 games they should win. I get that too. Lakers, do have a game against the Rockets. The end of the year, Rockets won't need it. But this is, if they're in that play-in, this is a terrible, you don't want to be in that play-in. Why play the extra week? Why deal with Oklahoma City possibly in that first round? So this is and I don't trust Minnesota confidence-wise. They're a little fragile, and this would contribute to that. That's a terrible loss, 100%.
Yeah, but Bobby Portis did spark a comeback.
Nice job.
Yeah,
Played well.
Absolutely. First game back from suspension. Monica, who needs a deep run more? Is it Anthony Edwards or is it Giannis?